Hey everyone! Happy Sunday. It is Sunday, April 18th, 2021. I am Tracy and my channel is Tracy Stitches. You can find me on Instagram at Wow Princess. And today is Flosstube, I don't know, 15, 16, 17, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I'll figure it out when I post it, I guess. Anyway, I just want to say hi to everyone who's returning, and I want to say welcome to all of the new subscribers. I've had an influx of subscribers in the last few weeks, and I think that's primarily thanks to Bobby over at Pumpkin Creek Prim. She mentioned me, I believe, and so I want to say thank you to all of you new people who have come and started watching my videos, and thank you for all the comments. And yeah, so this is a channel about cross stitch, and yeah, let's get into it. The weather here has been gorgeous. For those of you who don't know, I live in the Pacific Northwest in Washington State, and we're having, I don't even know that I would call this spring weather. I would call this early summer weather. Yesterday was in the low 80s. The sun has been shining for days now. The sky has been bright blue, and it's supposed to go on for a few more days at least. And it's been great. So I can only assume that rain is right around the corner, because it usually is this time of year. But that's okay. Got to take in the sun while we can, for sure. So as far as that goes, the weather's been great. It changes my attitude greatly when the sun is out, and I definitely appreciate it. So glad to see that. Still working from home. That doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. Probably most of this year. But I am one shot down in my vaccination process. So I got the Moderna vaccination 2 weeks ago. And so I'm a little less than 2 weeks away from shot number 2. And then 2 weeks away from that, away from being fully vaccinated. So super excited about that. I don't know that it changes my life a ton, but probably allows me to feel a little less anxiety doing some things that I do, which is go into Costco, run into a grocery store here and there. I usually do curbside as much as possible, but sometimes it's not all the way possible. So, and maybe see a friend or two who have been vaccinated. So I know one of my good friends, Jill, has been vaccinated, so I'm looking forward to seeing her. And maybe coming into some sort of normalcy moving forward. So anyway, so I'm excited about that for sure. Other than that, I've been stitching, and that's about it. I stay home a lot. So, but that's okay. So let's get into stitching. I'll start with my haul. My expo order came in. My needlework expo from March finally came in. And I didn't do too bad. You know, no, the damage wasn't horrible. I bought mostly charts. I did buy one kitted project, and I'll show you that in a minute, but let's start with the charts. So from Manny D. Donna, I got the Witch Spells chart. I just think these are super cute. So I am going to, they call for sulkies, and if you'll remember, I have all the sulkies. So perfect. Gonna go ahead and stitch those with sulky threads. This wasn't part of an expo release. It was a new release, I believe, in the fall by Plum Street, but I'd had my eye on it, and since she had it in stock, I asked her to get it. Bowl full of Scaries, Scary 1. I just love this chart. It's so cute. I do like Halloween things, I've realized. I don't decorate a ton for Halloween, but I like stitching Halloween. So this is from With Thy Needle and Thread. Say You Have, just fudge it and carry on. I love this. I don't know why. mostly because in my head I envisioned changing one of the words. I don't know. We'll see what I do. But this cracked me up and I just had to. This is from Tumbleweeds, which is part of Little House Needleworks. It's Legendary Girls. And again, I'm not sure this was an expo release. I think this was just part of a new release from her. But it just says, I figure if a girl wants to be a legend, she should go ahead and be one. So I love that. I might stitch that in sulky threads too. It calls for classic colorworks, of course, because most Little House does, but we'll see. And then I got this chart, which is also a sulky chart. Oh Feathers by Rosewood Manor. I just loved that peacock. So gorgeous. So I did not get this kitted, of course, because I have the sulkies. So, and then also from Rosewood Manor, I got Griffins of the Kingdom and the treasure braid that goes with it. And then last but not least, Melissa and I, Stitcher Mel on Instagram, got Blessings Be More by Erica Michaels kitted. It's an Irish blessing. And we're going to stitch this as a sow this year. So I ordered from Dreama. My expo order came from Dreama at Needlecraft Corner in Maryland. And she sold it as a kit. So it came with 2 pieces of fabric, 1 for each piece, and then the week's fibers to go with it. So I'm imagining it was the called for fabric, but I don't know for sure. 32 count Legacy and 37 count Russian tea cake. Yeah. So this would have been the called for fabric that she kitted with it. So Melissa and I, Stitcher Mel and I, are going to do a sow with that later this year after we finish the current sow we're working on. So, and the only other piece of haul, that was all my expo haul. So not bad, mostly charts, not horrible. There was a lot more that I liked and that I was tempted by, but I'm trying to be reasonable based on how much stash I have. I mean, if I'm being honest, I have probably 40 kitted projects still, so it's not like I need to buy a ton of stuff. I have a ton of stuff to stitch. And when has that ever stopped anybody? But trying to be reasonable. We'll see. I ended up placing a small order with a shop to get some fabrics, or some fibers. Doing Halloween Quaker, and I had bought it kitted from a shop. And I realized as I was starting to get into this Quaker that the threads that they kitted weren't 100% correct. It was missing one. And then it had included 4 of one color when it should have been 2 of one and 2 of another. And so I was a little bit frustrated by that, but I bought it so long ago. I mean, I bought that kit probably 3 or 4 years ago, and I just never checked it when it came in. I just assumed it was right. So whatever, it is what it is. So I ended up getting some threads to go with my Halloween Quaker. And then when I was ordering, I ordered another Brother in Blue Gast because I love it. I've decided. So, and I think I know what I'm going to use this for, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, so yeah, those are for Halloween Quaker. So that's my haul. Not too bad, really, and which is good. Still, all of that was less than all the sulky I bought earlier last month, so that's good. So I have no finishes this time. I had a lot of finishes in my last video. 4, I think, is what I showed. So I kind of got on a roll in the last video, and I'm not that close to, well, no, I am close to a finish, but I'm not there yet. So no finishes, no FFOs. I did have a new start since the last video. Melissa and I, Stitcher Mal and I, the salve we're doing now is Sally Spencer by Birds of a Feather. And oddly enough, a couple days after my last video, I realized that I referred to her as Sally Hansen. And for some reason, like 3 days after I posted my video, it came to me. I'm like, wait, I called her Sally Hansen. Oh, it's not her name. She's Sally Spencer. And then when my best friend watched it, when Melissa watched it, she's like, do you know you called her Sally Hansen? That's like the fingernail polish. I'm like, yeah, I know. I got it. Sally Spencer. So I got this poor chart off of eBay. I found it off of eBay for a pretty reasonable price a year ago or so. And so anyway, so Sally Spencer started her. We started this on April 1st as a stitch along. And I am stitching her on 32 count country vintage country mocha, vintage country mocha. And I am pretty far. That's halfway at least. I have one more row of letters, and then the bottom part is pretty much just more flowers and vines. So that's 6 days worth of stitching. When we started her on April 1st, I did 4 days straight, Thursday through Sunday, and then I stitched on her Saturday and Sunday last weekend. I did those, 10 stitches yesterday, and then I just realized I was not in the stitching mode yesterday, so I didn't really stitch yesterday. I'm not going to count that as a day. But I kind of in the mood to stitch on her today, so I'll stitch on her today and see how much I get done with her, and then put her away until next weekend. This is kind of weekend stitching. Melissa kind of came up with like Sally Saturday or Sally Sunday or Sally Saturday and Sunday. So decided to start working on this on the weekend. So I don't think very many more weekends and I'll be done with her. She's a super quick stitch and I love the stitching. And that's where I came up with Brother in Blue, because that's one of the colors in there, and it's gorgeous. I love it. So anyway, I'm loving that piece. Super excited to get her done and frame her and put her on a wall. I love that. So that was my new start, and as you can see, I've gotten quite a bit of ways through that. So that's good. It won't be a lingering whip, I don't believe. So now, as far as whips, so I am working on, I mentioned Halloween Quaker. That's this is a stitch along that I'm doing with Michelle Bindi Stitchy. She's doing a Zoom every couple weeks usually. There's a Zoom on a Saturday where those of us stitching on this get together and stitch together for a couple hours. So this was a new start for me during these Zooms, and I think I've done 3. I think there's been 4 Zooms this year, and I've done 3 of them. And so I'm doing this on the called for, which is 40 count Murky by Picture This Plus. And this was a new start for me. And I'm only right now stitching during the Zooms. I have not picked this up otherwise. So only on Zoom day, let me say. If I'm still in the mood after the Zoom to continue stitching on it, then I will stitch on it the rest of that Saturday. But otherwise, then I put it away. So only on Zoom Saturdays am I stitching on this. So I've only stitched on it 3 days, and that's what it's going to look like when it's done. This is by Lila's Studio, by the way. This does qualify for Stitch Asia, for those of you participating in that as well. So that's Halloween Quaker. And I started in the middle on this one. And the reason I started on the middle was because I didn't cut this fabric. And so I ended up just starting in the middle because it was safer. So you can see I got that middle motif done, the witch and the moon and the broom. Well, almost the broom. I need just the little connector part down at the bottom. But I am doing called for on this, and except for the white. The white, and I didn't pull it out, so I don't remember, but I'm doing the glow-in-the-dark DMC, the light effects or whatever. So, yeah. So, super cute so far. And there we go. So that was a whip since I saw you last. And then the big one I'm working on, for those of you just joining me and haven't done a lot of watching of the past videos, this year I'm trying to get a lot of my small whips. I started the year with 10 or 11 whips, and I'm trying to get a lot of these lingering smaller ones done and off my plate. So I've finished quite a bit of them. I'm down to 3 that I want to get done, and I've kind of decided since I've started this that I want to get them done by my birthday, which is the end of June, so I've got plenty of time. So I'm working on one of the 3 right now, and the one I'm working on is Magnolia by Nora Corbett. This is my oldest whip. I started this on January 1st, 2012, so 9 years old. And for the longest time, I didn't stitch on it because the fabric I picked, while I love the coloring of it, it's just a very loosey-goosey fabric, and I'm not a big fan of that. So I haven't enjoyed stitching on it, let's say. So, but I want to get it done. I love the pattern. It's gorgeous. I'm stitching it on a 32 count hand-dyed silk weaver solo, and I've been working on her Monday through Fridays for the last couple weeks, maybe more. This might have been my 3rd week. Maybe it was only my 2nd week. No, it was my 3rd week, because the 1st week I got this side done. The 2nd week I got that side done. This week I've got her upper body, her hair, and this wing done. So what I have left is the other wing, and then the Magnolia umbrella, and then the beading. So this week I'm going to pick her back up tomorrow. This week my goal will be to get the other wing done and the umbrella done, and then we'll see where we're at with the beading. If I can get all of that done by the end, even if it's Friday and it's not done then I will probably keep working on her and do the beading, because I don't think the beading will take that long. There's not a ton of beads in her. You know, these are all beads. There's beads throughout her dress. There's a few beads in each of the wing, and then some beads in here, of course, but it's not overwhelming with beads. So I think she looks really pretty. I love the fabric choice. So I'm really excited. I'm excited. I've done all the back stitching as I went, as you can see. So really, it's just once I get the stitching done, it's going to be the it's just going to be the beading. So, by the way, I love my little needle minder RBG's collar. Anyway, so that is maybe going to be a finish this week. We'll see how long that umbrella takes. The color changes in it is absolutely crazy. So we'll see. But the goal is to have her done. Pick her up tomorrow and stitch through until I finish her. And if that means it cuts into Sally weekend next weekend a little bit, I'm okay with that, because then I'll have a finish. And then I'll be down to 2 whips that I want to get done. So that's what I've stitched on since last we visited. So what are my plans? So I've talked about in the last couple videos that my friend Sandy is doing Snow Village this year by Country Cottage Needleworks. And I have all the charts as well, and told her that I'd stitch it with her. Well, she started in February, and I made an attempt to start in February. And what happened was I had seen Fat Quarter Stitches stitch it on 20 count, or I don't know what her count was. It was Ada Petty Point though. And I loved it. And 1, 2, 3 Stitch had it in 20 count Ada. And I was like, I'm not a big fan of Aida. For me, it's usually too stiff, and I just don't like working. I prefer to work on Jobelin or any Lugana, just because it's softer and I like it better. So, but I thought I can do this. It'll be fine. I got that fabric and I tried. I put like 10 stitches in, 20 stitches in, and it was so stiff and I was not happy. And plus, I thought at 20 count I could do one strand. Well, it didn't cover that well, but 2 strands on 20 count was not working. So I gave up and I went back to 1, 2, 3 stitch, and I realized at that time, I don't know if I just didn't look that close, that they actually have the petty point in Lugana, 32 count Lugana. And then I realized they had 2 colors of it, because I got it in gray in the Aida because that's what I had seen Fat Quarter stitches do, and it was gorgeous. But then when I went back and saw that they had it in Lugana, I saw that they had it in the blue and white and the gray and white. So I ended up getting both pieces because it wasn't that expensive. And then I kind of was like, well, wait, because the original charts call for French Country Rain, I believe, which I thought, this is very close to that color. And I thought, well, I'll just get both because I'll use it. It doesn't matter. So, moral of the story is I still haven't started it. Miss Sandy is 2 charts down now of the 11. She started in the upper left-hand corner, so she's going left to right, top to bottom. So she's got 2 of the charts done so far. I have still got a 0 goose egg charts done. So I got to get a start on this. This will be my next new start. And my plan right now is to probably not start it until after Sally's done. So I need to kind of get a move on and get Sally done so that I can make this start. And I did make a decision though. I thought that I was going to go with the gray and white, but I did a floss toss and I'm going to go with the blue and white. So I'm going to go with the blue and white petty point. Decision made on that. That will be my next new start as soon as Sally is complete. So that's my goal. Another new start that I want to do, and I had this printed out when it came out from Liz Matthews a month or 2 ago. And it was her freebie with her newsletter, always. And I love this. And I know that this is not why she stitched this, but whenever I think of this word, I always think of Harry Potter and Snape, right? And I'm just drawn to this chart. And like I said, I know that this is probably not, I know this doesn't have anything to do with why she charted it probably, but anyway, it's what I think of. And so the funny thing is I hadn't read, because I've just been looking at the black and white copy of it because I don't have a color printer. I didn't remember what she had charted it in and what her finished piece had been charted in. But in the meantime, I started Sally Hansen and I fell in love with Brother in Blue. So then I ordered the Brother in Blue Gast when I ordered the Quaker. Well, then when I was going through and looking to pull this because I want to start it, I realized that she had stitched hers in Brother in Blue. So I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to have this ready to go when I need just a break from my whips. It'll be a super quick stitch. So make it into a pillow. So I think that that's going to be a start at some point when I need a break from the bigger pieces that I'm working on. So that's ready to go. And then when I get done with Magnolia, I'll be down to 2 whips and that I want to get done by my birthday. The one is Knee High by Hands On Designs, I believe. And then the other one is Pretty Little London by Satsuma Street. And so I've decided that I need some color block stitching in my life. I need to stitch on something that's a little less intense and color change happy than some of the stuff I've been working on. So I'm going to pick up Pretty Little London as my next whip to finish. And as you can see, that's how far I am, not quite halfway, but this is on a 32 count white Joblin. So that is going to be my next whip once Magnolia is complete. So then I'll be down to one. That should go pretty fast. Like I said, it's very color blocky, which is nice because you can just stitch and go, and that will be good. By the way, one of the reasons why I got all hankering to start always was because Janet Jabber, she started it this past week, and I was like, dang it, I'd forgotten about that piece, and now I want it. So I blame Janet for that. So anyway, other than that, that's all I've got. I've made a lot of progress on some of the stuff I'm working on. I hope to have a finish, at least one finish the next time we talk, maybe a couple, depending on what's going on. A new start, Snow Village. And yeah, so that's all I've got today for you. I hope you guys are having good weather. I hope you're staying safe and healthy. And I'll talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye, everyone.